Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. Glad to be back with a new episode. Happy Thursday, almost Friday. It's Thursday evening here, and looking forward to another. I have another great guest upcoming, but before I bring her on, hit my music. Let's get it. All right. Once again, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. Happy Thursday, October 16th. And you can follow the show on all the podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple. We're also on YouTube, BS3 Network YouTube channel. We're also on Spreaker, BS3TVLive.com, BS3 Network Roku channel as well. Wherever you get podcasts, wherever you consume podcasts, we are there. iHeartRadio as well. You can follow me on all the social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, which I'm trying to get into a little bit more, and TikTok as well. So I'm on all the social media platforms as well. All right, well, let me bring in my guest. Got a great guest coming, so let me bring her on. Morgan Kane Bronze. She is the Iowa State women's basketball alum and also sports science masters, winning edge coaching. She does a little of everything in this space, and we're going to get to hear her story. So, Morgan, welcome to the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
Yes, absolutely. Iowa State women's basketball alum. We're gonna get into all of that and everything too, and all that. So, but how are you doing? And welcome to the show. And how's your week been going?
Doing great. Blessed to have another week, and staying busy is always nice to be able to do. So
Yeah, for sure. Yes, I'm with you on that. Blessed to be busy. It's been a busy week. It seems like every week, I think leading to the holidays now is ramping up. So a lot of they're just busy in everything we do. So, but I appreciate your time and appreciate you. I reached out to you. We followed each other on Instagram and appreciate you accepting the invite and really appreciate it. Like I said, really appreciate it.
yeah, stoked to be on this podcast and dive deeper into some things.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to go with my first question. I always ask my first time guest, who is Morgan Bronze and just share your story of how you got to where you are today.
That's a full question.
Yes. Yes,
So,
it is.
a little bit of background about me. I'm born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah, and that's kind of where I got started. Fell in love with basketball at a really young age and just really took off from there. So in high school, loved basketball and then got a scholarship playing at Iowa State and just jumped at the first opportunity I could to play at a Power 5 conference, D1, and never looked back. Went to the Big 12, moved to Ames, Iowa. I didn't even know where Iowa was, and I was living in Utah. And man, just found my way, made a path for myself, and had the opportunity to get my schooling while playing basketball, and that was amazing. And now that I'm an alum, just paving my way and finding a path to help other athletes and still be involved with athletics because athletics has just been such a big part of my life.
Okay, yes, and then like you said, Iowa State alum and women's basketball, and we're gonna talk about that experience in a minute. And also, I know how important it is when the brief that we did talk to set this up of how you said you love to help athletes and everything to just giving back and that way as well. Where did the love of, like you said, love of basketball come from?
Yes, my dad played at the University of Utah. My brother played some basketball as well. My sister and my mom not basketball people. They
Yeah.
super into riding horses.
Okay. All right.
So when I was young, I was riding horses because that's what my mom liked, and I was playing basketball. And I had to sit my mom down when I was about 12 and say, I want to play basketball. I don't want to ride a horse anymore.
You say you're done riding
So,
horses.
yeah, I just love the team atmosphere. I love being on a team and having that common goal. I'm 6'3", so as a post player, I love the physicality of it. I had the opportunity to play volleyball in high school, but I just loved the physicalness of basketball. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, yes, I love that, and like I'm a huge basketball fan. I didn't play collegiately or anything like that. I played, I love watching, love analyzing it and everything too. Loved it when I was like I was a kid, since I was a kid, and played with my friends and things like that. But it can definitely be a physical sport. And you said you kind of went from horse riding to basketball, and then you said you stayed with it because you said you're helping out the athletes as well. Well, let's talk about your time at Iowa State. You said former D1 basketball athlete there, because you competed for 5 years, from 2018 to 2023. So even throughout the COVID years and pandemic, I know that had to be something I got to talk about that too. But you said you're in the starting position. You became a Big 12 champion, made a Sweet 16 appearance as well. Talk about your experience playing for Iowa State. How was that?
Yeah, man, it was amazing. It really shaped me as a person. There were a lot of highs, there were a lot of lows. As college basketball is, it's not easy, it's hard, but it was rewarding at the same time. So, like you said, I came in 2018, just a freshman, as green as they come, like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, excited to be there.
Yeah. Yes.
And man, people told me this like in high school going into college, like you'll never know what college is like until you're there. Like the pace of the game is different, the physicality is different, the intensity is different. And they're right. You never know until you get into that college setting and you're playing against senior college players that have been in that role for years, for a few years, and it's eye-opening. So in my freshman year, I was just a sponge learning a lot. I ended up redshirting my freshman year. There were just a lot of post players ahead of me, and I wasn't going to see the court at all. So instead of looking at that as like I'm not good or kind of beating myself up, I looked at it as an opportunity to, okay, I'm going to be the best I can be. I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to get faster. I'm going to learn the plays. I'm going to emulate like senior upperclassmen teammates that I want to become. So I really took advantage of that redshirt year to just learn. I learned how to study. I learned how to study on the road. I learned kind of everything what that looked like, not just being an athlete, but being a student, traveling, being on the road sometimes twice a week.
Yeah.
So with that redshirt experience, I was able to learn, and then sophomore, junior year, kind of fighting my way up the ladder, getting into that third string, second string position, taking advantage of any minute I could get on the court. Maybe that was giving the starters a breather and just taking advantage of that. One memory that I tell a lot because it really sticks with me is we were playing Baylor for our senior night game, and I was probably a sophomore or a junior, and probably a sophomore, and Baylor was undefeated. They had like never lost a conference game for a couple years. So their streak was like unreal.
Yeah.
They're like, so that they're just untouchable. They were that good, with Kim Mulkey as their head coach.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so senior night, we're playing them, and our starting post player gets in foul trouble in the first half. Okay. So Coach Finley puts in the second post player. She gets in foul trouble. So he looks down the bench at me like, all right, Mo, you're going in. And I just had bright eyes of like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I just remember that moment of like getting on the court, like butterfly. Like I was excited, I was nervous, but having that opportunity to like play for one of the first times on a really big stage, that was so exciting for me. And I was able to, like, I remember scoring one basket and being like, oh my gosh, like,
This is it. Yeah.
this is what I worked
Yeah.
so hard for. Like,
Right.
you're right, this is it. Like, this is awesome. And so even though I got a few minutes, that was like my first taste of, like, I just want more. I want more of like chasing, riding the high. So throughout my years, I continued to find my role on the team, finding my position. Where did the team need a leader, or maybe they needed a rebounder? So I was able to find my niche on the team to contribute, because everyone, especially like on a basketball team, you need to find your role in order to fit in and to thrive, because not everyone can be the number one scorer.
Right.
Someone can be a rebounder. Someone can be a really great passer. Someone can know all the plays in and out. So I found my role on the team and earned my starting position my last few years, and really just took on a leadership role as well, helping those younger girls as their freshmen and sophomores, because I really looked up to my juniors and seniors. So I wanted to be that for them. So kind of being that leadership role as well. And the claim to fame is winning the Big 12 championship.
Yes.
That was,
I was going to ask about that. Yeah, that's
that
a big thing. Yeah.
That was amazing. I got the opportunity to start and play and contribute, and it was a team win. We needed every single person on our team to pull out that dub, and it was just an amazing feeling that can't be recreated.
And that's a lot of great highlights, and I knew that was going to be one of my questions, is some of the highlights. But you made a couple points that you said that really resonated, is more of you said start as a freshman and worked your way up. You continue with the process, and I think that's a learning for any athlete or in life in general. But if you're just talking sports, you start from, you said second, third string, but you continue to work, continue to train, continue to learn and soak up all that information and practice. And you said the training, the process, and the mindset. You had that, and you continue to keep working until you said, okay, I got a little bit of a taste of, I get to come in and really really help and contribute. You felt like I'm part of this team. And I think that's what, in sports, especially team sports, when you have a team, you're right. Everyone's not going to be the superstar. No, that's it. That's all we want to do. And because of the limelight and spotlight. But as a team, especially in basketball, you need 12 players, sometimes 15, depending on the rosters. But 12 to 15 players, you said everybody has to have a role to win, to have a winning team. And it's a process and everything. You have a great coaching, great training staff, all that. And then you got the athletes, so you say you have a superstar, whatever position it is. And then on top of that, everyone else, like I said, a rebounder, passer, great passer, someone that hustles, someone that's, like I said, knows the plays in and out. So it comes together. That's why we see all these great teams that come together, have great success, because they're playing as a unit, not just one or two dominant players.
Totally. That's the most important. That's how you thrive as a team.
Yep.
Is working together and finding various strengths within your team. And for a high school team, for a college team, for a professional team, every year might look different, especially now with transfers and people coming in and out a little more with a little more fluidity. You gotta find your strengths on the team. You also got to find those weaknesses. And that's where you work on those weaknesses in the off season, and then you thrive on your strengths during the season. And that team like winning the Big 12 tournament, we couldn't have done it if we weren't all bought in to the process. But buy-in starts in the summer when the team comes and starts training. It starts from the early stages of training and getting your workouts in. Doesn't happen immediately. So it was rewarding to see months and months and months of working hard, experiencing some losses and some struggles and maybe injuries of teammates and just persevering and pushing through those.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, it takes perseverance, and you said teams, the good to great teams buy in. You said before training camp, like you come in and chemistry that develops, and over time, there's ups and downs throughout the year. I got to definitely ask you about transfer portal. Like it's forever changing. NIL forever changing and everything too. And you got to witness all that, as you just said, being a student athlete. And you said you talk about the highs of being Big 12 champion and also the Sweet 16 appearance. I know that had to been you talked about a little bit, but that had to have been a really great feeling to be, he said, Big 12 as accomplishments, Big 12 champion and Sweet 16 appearance.
Totally. Just I'm so proud of it, but I can't take all the credit. Like every time when someone says that, I say it was my teammates, that brought us there. Sweet 16 was an unreal stage. Like just the stage of the court and the fans and just knowing so many people are watching. Iowa State always gets a good women's basketball crowd turnout, one of the best in the nation, but just being on that NCAA stage and being able to make it to that Sweet 16, it was just amazing. It was rewarding for sure. But when I think about like being on the Sweet 16, I also think about the mindset that I needed to have, that my teammates needed to have, of it's just another basketball game. Sometimes blowing it up into making it such a big deal, it could be a mind trip. And at the end of the day, like I just remember our coaches saying, like, just go play basketball, because he put in so many hours of watching film and studying and really diving into the X's and O's. Now it's like, we go have fun, go play basketball. Let's just go work our butts off and try and pull out this win.
Okay, yeah, that's a good mindset to have, and I think just watching basketball for so long, watching the tournaments and just in general from high school all the way to the pros, I guess when it comes to those type of big games and championship caliber games, you said coaches said probably have to say treat it like a game. I know it's hard. I'm sure it was hard because you said it's big bright lights and you're in the tournament and it's like that's what you strive for, and it's that one and done is you get it when you still in, it's that survivor type of every time with that is but you gotta have like I said, the mindset to say, okay, one game at a time. It's just like the regular season, and just continue to keep pushing and winning. But you said making Sweet 16 is a huge accomplishment, I'm sure.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. All right. Well, let's talk about a little bit of talk about you said 2020 hits, pandemic. Talk about that experience, because I've heard a lot of different things, like how much that the half the season. Well, I should say the season was canceled, and then the next year, I think 21 was different. It was like games were canceled, and then you got to play some games and everything too. But talk about your experience playing through the pandemic and everything. That had to be something a difficult situation trying to navigate, for one, the pandemic in itself, but also the social distancing. I haven't heard that in a long time, but now social distancing, but just going through the pandemic, the mindset and everything too of trying to play and then play safe.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I got a story for you.
Okay. I can't wait to hear this.
Sometimes people say, where were you when you found out that the world shut down, right?
Yes.
So for me and my team, we were at the Big 12 tournament. So going back to my last story, when we had just beaten Baylor at senior night. So we're coming off this incredible high of like, we just knocked off the top dog. Let's go win the Big 12 tournament. Like, that's what we're thinking. Like, we have this energy. Like, that energy is kind of like going into, we're going to go far in the NCAA tournament. Like, we are just so excited about the potential of these tournaments because that's just the best part is the Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament. And so we are practicing. So we're at the we're at the Big 12 tournament, excuse me, and we're on the court actually practicing. Like, we have a game the next day. So we're practicing the day before a game, routine, same as always. We like heard rumors of like the NBA is potentially shutting down, something's happening. We don't know, but we're going to win our game tomorrow. That's what we're thinking. And so the organizer of the Big 12 tournament comes out during our practice and says, everyone needs to go back to the locker room immediately. And so we just go into our locker room. We don't know what's going on. Like, we have no clue. And our one of our coaches comes in and says, the Big 12 tournament has been canceled. There won't be a Big 12 tournament. There probably won't be an NCAA tournament. We don't know what's going on. We're going to go home tomorrow. We'll be on a bus. And it was like, that was it. We don't know. And it was just crazy. It was crazy. Like, I remember going back into the hotel room with my teammate and just like, what now? Like,
what just happened?
Yeah, what just happened? And so we ended up all going back to our designated homes. So like, I went back to Utah and we just waited. We just kind of waited. And then when we were able to come back on campus, things were so different. So that was like a couple months later, we were able to come back and we were only allowed to do workouts with our roommates. We're like the people in our designated class. So like all the freshmen lived together so they could work out together. The sophomores lived together so they can work out together. And so we were in pods and workouts were so strange, so different. Because we were only working out in groups of 3 to 4, lifting, practicing. You couldn't have the camaraderie of the other girls because they had to be out of the building before we could come into the building as juniors. So, and then the coaches were just very distant. Obviously, everyone's trying to be safe in an unknown world. And when we were able to come back together as a team, we all had masks on. And I just remember we'd scrimmage with our teammates, and then like the time would run out in practice, and then we'd like go to corners and drink our water bottles like away from everyone. We wouldn't like drink water together. It was just so strange. Games were really interesting in that 2021. Most of our games for like the Big 12, we were able to still do games as long as the other team didn't have someone with COVID, obviously. But no fans, fake cheering noise that the tournament would put on, like the arenas would put on. And for Iowa State, especially, like Iowa State women's basketball thrives on their fans being there. Like some of the, like Iowa State gets a lot of fans. And so having no one, it just felt like a practice or like a scrimmage against another team. And we really had to, as a team, generate our own energy. You couldn't feed off the noise of the fans cheering after we hit a 3. Like, we had to generate our own energy. But meanwhile, for the players that are on the bench, we're all spread out still. Like, we're not even close to each other. We're like the chairs are staggered. So strange. So strange. I think you just have to try and make the most of it. I can't speak for other teams, but for my Iowa State team that year, we were all pretty bought in of like, let's be smart, let's do the right thing, because at the end of the day, we want to play.
Yep.
So we didn't have any games canceled because of us.
Right.
We didn't cause the cancellation of any games, and we took a lot of pride in that. Of we're being smart. We're trying to distance ourselves the most of, like, even outside of practice, like stay in your apartments. So wild time, crazy time.
Yeah. Crazy time. You said a worldwide shutdown, pandemic, and it was very, it was, you said, it was very different, strange. It just, he said, the mask and the distancing, and I'm sure like multiple testings,
Oh yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
quarantining, and yeah, just so much going on. And it's interesting because the college season did go through in 21, and I know some teams played less games. It was just I mean, they made the best of it, of what you said. You was living through it, but like you said, you wanted to be more, you wanted to be safe. Livelihoods were at stake for sure, and but you wanted to definitely be safe. And they said Iowa State did it. Let's say, like, you guys did it right, and really got a chance to get through the season. But yeah, that was some times there when they, yeah, even like I said, during that time. I remember in 2020 watching, I don't know what game I was getting ready to watch, but it was a college game. I think it was I don't know, I think it was men's though, but they just said, yeah, we gotta. They at first they said we were delaying the game first,
Yep. Yes.
and then they came back an hour later and said, okay, we got to cancel. Then the NBA canceled, um, shut down, and then NHL and the college sports was like right after. It was like everything was just back and forth. Like, baseball wasn't playing yet, or football wasn't playing yet. The Super Bowl just ended, so it was just, yeah, we were there. That was some time, like you said. Where were
Yeah.
you during during the
Yeah.
pandemic? That's,
Yeah. Where were you?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I
That's some
mean,
time.
some games, like we were able to play all of our games, but some games we had 7 girls.
Right.
So like
Right.
it kind of felt like an AU of
Yeah.
like no fans. Whoever
Mhm.
whoever shows up, we can play. Like just unreal.
Yeah, that's, I'm sure for you definitely, and then your teammates and the coaching staff and training, and like you said, sometimes you couldn't even. It was just your team. That was it. You couldn't, like you said, you couldn't bring your family, friends. He said the fake crowd noise and the noise. I'm sure in person it was it just felt weird and different. On TV, you could tell it was fake crowd noise because it wasn't even, there was nobody in the stands but your teammates and the coaching. That was
Yeah.
it. That was it,
Yeah.
really. And then the TV crews. That's it. And they even that was limited because they couldn't really, they just couldn't travel and couldn't have only so many people in the arenas and everything too. Wow, we've come a long way. It's like I said, it's been 5 years, going on 6 years now. It's like, wow, yeah. So that's interesting, just to hear from what, living through it as an
Yeah.
athlete.
Yeah.
With that, all right, just got a couple more before I let you go. I want to ask you about NIL and transfer portal and everything too. That has shaken up uh, college sports for sure, and on all sports and everything too. What's your thoughts as a former college athlete? What's your thoughts on the transfer portal and NIL? Is it a good thing? Is it a negative thing? What's your thoughts on that?
It's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question. Yes, because I got thoughts too, but it's I think there's some good and some not so good, but I want to
Yeah.
hear from you for
Yeah.
sure.
So I NIL kind of got started near my end of my
Mm,
career. So I wasn't too heavily involved in it at all. Um, so I think NIL started as a great idea.
mm,
It started as a great concept of like, hey, let's pay the players because they're getting used for their name, image, likeness,
yeah.
whatever. But I really think it's gotten out of control.
Yes, I
It's
agree.
it's just grown to just an unghastly amount that I think was never anticipated. It is my own personal thought. And I don't know. I see both sides. I see both sides of it's great to have a player get paid, and that's really setting that college athlete up for success after playing. Like I can see that side of it, but at the same time, you're representing the university, and the money that the money that the university uses for your name, image, likeness is going into making the university better.
Yeah.
It's going into giving athletes more scholarship opportunities. And I hate to I don't want to see the day when teams are getting cut because they're not bringing in enough money, or the university wants to put more money into the big sports of the football and the basketball, and then your golf team's getting cut and scholarships are getting cut because more money needs to go to paying the players.
Right.
I would be so sad to see that happen, of the baseball team, the golf team, whatever. Name the sport. Yeah.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think the same thing. I think when NIL, when it first started, I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was a really good idea. Athletes have been, for like yourself, been for years, many, many years, trying to get some type of incentive or some pay, some type of stipend, something. With NCAA making a lot of money, billions of dollars, just wanted a piece of that, just a piece of that. And when they got an opportunity to do that, it's like, I think it's a great idea. Like, I think it has gotten out of hand too, agree. Because, some athletes are making like millions in some ways, millions and millions. I mean, we could go on from the Caitlin Clarks to the Angel Reeses and even beyond that as well. But that, I think it's deserved, and for sure, I think, the more money you can make, the better. I agree. But I think now it's gotten on hand because now it's getting, now transfer portal players, athletes are able to transfer multiple times.
Yeah.
And again, from the fan base on that, I would say, fans can come in. You said college basketball, and they come in. It's like, well, who's on the team? Like the whole team. I think it was Syracuse. The whole like the women's college basketball team. I think they all went to the transfer portal. At least majority of them went to the transfer portal. This was a couple of years ago because my wife's friend, her niece, played for Syracuse, and this might have been a couple of years ago now. And her and most of her teammates transferred. I know there was some issues with coaching and things like that, but they were able to. It's like, okay, the whole team's picked up and just transferred everywhere. I was like, well, they got a whole new team now. The next year, they don't know, So but I think like I said, there's some good and there's some bad with it.
Definitely, and with transfers, now you have a brand new team that you need to get them all on the same page. You need to get them unified. Whereas if you have a freshman that's going all the way through senior year, they know the drill. They know what to do. They know the system. They know the flow. And that's tough with transfers. I mean, if it's not the best fit for you, okay, transfer. But there's also some beauty in sticking it out and like fighting through those sticky parts and those tough parts to get through. I know that I work with some athletes in high school, and we talk a lot about like you gotta get through the bad to find the good, and just like finding the positivity in the negativity in a negative world. Like you have to find the good, or you're gonna be consumed by all that negative thoughts, and it's going to become a part of you. So I think that's how it can be in a transfer setting too, of like, have you done your best to find the good in this situation before you pull the plug and go somewhere else?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's yes, I think in everybody's situation is different with the transfer. and it could be there's circumstances where okay, they want to they want to go to a different team. Maybe their fit doesn't with the coaching, or they want to go to a different school. Everything. Everybody's reasoning is different. I think
Mhm.
some they just want to continue to keep saying, "Oh, the grass green on the other side, grass green on the other side." And that doesn't always work out that way.
Mhm.
I hope when people do transfer, it does help. It does work
Mhm.
out for them. But again, it just shows like they're just the branding too, and I think that could be a good thing with the branding. So talk about the NIL getting the opportunities, and I think it's good for the athlete. They got the freedom to kind of if they want to move around. But as you said back then, you stuck with it. If your team was bad and you just had bad years, you just continue to keep working, and then like I said, then eventually continuity will kick in, and that they said in your Sweet 16 or something like that. Just like
Yeah, it
yeah,
took me 4 years to drive 3, 4 years to finally find that platform of my
yeah,
own on that team.
yeah,
Like it took time. I had to develop like you have to figure it out
yep,
and work through that. I also think from like a athlete or from a student standpoint for the athletes
mm,
transferring, I know that like credits don't always transfer to different schools, and it's just
yeah,
like putting you back in a uh, academic standpoint, and I'm big on academics, so I think that way.
yeah.
Like that's that just makes it a tough situation to graduate as well.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta think of you gotta think of that. I think that would be the first thing you would think is your education and how does that affect when I do transfer in my those credits don't you
Yeah,
said transfer over. It's like, okay, I should have just stayed where I was
yeah,
because you want to graduate. You said education is the most important. And yeah, I agree 100% on that too. All right, just wanted to ask you about, as you said, you talked about you train athletes, professional D1, 2, and 3 athletes across multiple sports, basketball and volleyball, soccer, swimming, diving, and everything too. And like you said, you talk about that experience of uh, your why, your mission of training young athletes. You said and giving back.
yeah, definitely. So my business is called Winning Edge Coaching, and I work with middle school and high school
Mm,
athletes looking to better themselves. Uh, and like you said, lots of different sports. I work with variety of different sports because at the end of the day, we train mindset.
yeah,
So we're working on mentality of not being like sports is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent and working through pressure on the court, on the field, whatever that might be. So with Winning Edge Coaching, we have weekly calls with. I have a weekly call with an athlete like FaceTime, seeing them on person,
mm,
and we're talking through those situations that you're experiencing, and I'm helping giving you mental strategies, tools, tricks to apply to become a smarter athlete. I also do nutritional education for athletes. So give you the basics of how do you feel your body before game, after game, what does that look like? What is a performance plate looking like? Preseason different than in season,
mm,
different than off season. So a big part of winning edge coaching is filling in the cracks that middle school and high school athletes are missing. Sometimes they're in the weight room, but that's all they're doing. So what about sleep? What about recovery, nutrition? How's your mindset? So I'm really passionate about winning edge coaching because I had mentors when I was in high school helping me through that, helping me through my mindset of, okay, use this strategy when you're feeling pressure from people watching you
mm,
or when you're wanting to be perfect, but you can't be perfect, when I make a mistake, what strategies can I utilize and implement to not get so deep into my head that I can't perform the best the rest of the game. So I had mentors that helped me with my nutrition and guiding me and directing me, and it honestly got me to where I am today. That was a jumping off a platform. And so I want to give that to other athletes. I want to be a mentor. Whatever questions they have, I'm here to be utilized as that platform to jump to the next step, whatever that step is. I help with setting goals and helping that athlete be the best that they can be in whatever capacity that looks like.
I love that. I think, yes, you said younger kids from the junior high school level needs that. They need that extra push, and they need someone like yourself who you said been through what it took, what it takes, and to help them and guide them. Good to go beyond. He said even go beyond sports, but to put in the training and the get that experience. They need a mentor to perform at the highest level, as high as they can. I think they need someone like you to help them and guide them and to encourage them and listen. And sometimes they need that extra push to get to the next level or get to a level that they strive for, put it in the hard work, and they see you have done it and continue to set and work with them. They need that too. And again, winningedgecoaching.com. You can sign up. As it says, sign up. I'm looking on the website here, so that's what it is. Sign up today. Schedule a free consultation. Let's build your winning edge together. My last question is a quote on your website that stayed with you. You said throughout your career, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Talk about what that entails and what that is all about.
Yeah, that was my mantra in high school, in college. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. If you're not putting in the work, and when I say if you're not putting in the work, that's strength training, nutrition, mental training, optimizing your recovery. If you're not putting in the work, you're not going to reap those benefits. You can only rely on talent so far. Talent's only going to take you so far. And in a day and age like this, where we have the resources and the opportunities to be better, that's why I named Winning Edge Coaching Winning Edge. Like, it's the edge to separate you from good to great.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I think you said talent can only take you so far. You could be the most talented, whatever sport you're in. There's basketball, swimming. You could be the talent, but if you don't put in the hard work, that talent's only gonna go so far. And then people are like, "Well, then we'll say, what? Like they're very talented. They didn't put in the work. They didn't. Like I said, they didn't do all the things to match that talent, that the necessary things. You said the mindset, nutrition, recovery, strength, all those things." Training and everything too. So that I love that. So winningedgecoaching.com is the website. Morgan, this has been a pleasure having you on. I really, really appreciate it. Love hearing your story and just from the mindset of, with your, teaching and training from student athlete to now, like I said, giving back and training and helping younger kids, they said, develop in their sports. They need, like I said, they need someone like you to guide them. So I'm glad that you're doing the work on that front. So I really appreciate you. Thanks again. Let everyone know where they can actually follow you, reach out to you if they have any questions or anything like that. The floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said, on my website, winningedgecoaching.com, my Instagram handle, Kane Train, sorry, excuse me. Also Winning Edge Coaching on Instagram and Facebook are platforms where you can find me and reach out and get more information. Also my email account, winyouredge@gmail.com. So, and I would just encourage for anyone thinking about reaching out or thinking about, hey, what can I do to better myself in my game and get to the next level and earn your edge, just reach out to me and get that free consultation and let's talk. Let's see where's the capacity and what's the potential that you could become.
I love it. I love it. I'll put that on my Instagram as well once I share the video. And we'll definitely, hopefully, I hope we can do this again and discuss even more during the college basketball season, college women's basketball season. We can talk a little bit of that. I know I'm sure you still follow and definitely Iowa State. And but yeah, that's coming up now because the pro start next week, and then college is what, a couple weeks right after. So basketball is here, and it's time. It's fall, so here comes some basketball. I can't wait. Definitely can't wait.
I'm so excited, and I feel like we could talk for another hour about.
Yes, we could. Yes, we will definitely. We'll definitely. I'm definitely gonna get you back on and talk some college hoops, and I want to pick your brain about the WNBA, what they're going through with maybe a lockout and everything too. A lot of things is happening over there, just in general. But women's sports is keeps growing, and love seeing it as well. So, but again, thank you, Morgan, for your time. Really appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you, Courtney.
All right. Thank you. You have a good one.
Yep. You too.
Thanks.